Perfect, 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 perfect.
Hey everyone, Maria here, and I'm back for another video. Like, I know it has been a minute since I have filmed and all of that stuff, and I am here to tell you why. So, in this video, it's just gonna be like a real casual, get ready with me, chit chat, update, all of that stuff. So, if you want to be nosy and know where I've been and know why I haven't been posting and blah blah, just keep watching the video. But first, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and click that notification. I think it's down here in the corner, so that way you never miss another upload from me, and you know, you can stay a part of the family as, like, you know, I do my best to get like consistent again, because you know I've been consistently inconsistent, but like now I'm trying to be consistently consistent. But you know, whatever, just make sure you're subscribed to my channel, share this video, comment below, you know, letting me know if you guys like, I kind of mentioned it later on in the video, but I'll go ahead and mention it now. You know, if you want vlogs and all of that stuff, just comment below, let me know what it is that you want to see next. And yeah, let's just go ahead and hop into the video. All right, we're good. Yeah? Huh?
I'm finally awake.
Oh, you're finally awake? How was your night? You took a good nap?
Well, the only reason was because I woke up thinking in the middle of the night because I actually slept.
Oh. Well, when I'm just starting, but when I finish with this, we're gonna leave out. Okay?
I'm hungry.
Get you some pizza.
Huh?
Get you some pizza.
Okay.
Okay. Haven't done this in a while. I don't even know where to start. It has definitely been a minute since I She Me Her has filmed. Excuse my ratchet nail. These nails will be fixed on Monday. Alright, so let's just figure this out. Yes, ma'am.
Also, while I was sleeping, I was sweating.
You were sweating?
My legs were.
Oh, okay. Alright, so yeah, let's figure this out. How we finna do this, because I ain't done this in a minute. And I know it's like a get ready with me, chit chat, update, all of that stuff. So I'm probably not going to like mention every single thing that I'm doing or using, since this is more of like a dialogue as opposed to like a tutorial. So everything that I do use though will be listed below for sure. If I keep looking over this way, I'm just looking to make sure like I'm in frame, like everything is good. Like, I know part of my forehead's cut off, but you know what, that's okay, because it's okay. We are just going to go ahead and get started with this makeup, and yeah, I'm just gonna update you guys. So I'll either like put the product on the screen, so that way you guys can like do it along with me. I don't know, I figured out. If it's up here, then I did. If it's not up here, then it's literally just in the description box, because that's what we just gonna go with it. So yeah, where have I been? What haven't I been posting? Like, what's been going on? So filming this in August. Not sure, well, it's the end of August. This may or may not go up in August, not sure. It depends on how long it takes me to get this edited. But a couple of months ago, I relocated, guys. I moved. Like, me and the little one, we picked up, we moved. So I no longer reside in Maryland, even though you would probably think I kind of still do, because as much as I've been like back and forth between here in Maryland, you would definitely still think that I resided there, but I do not. We do not. I am now a resident of Dallas, Texas. So, oh, okay. So yeah, now a resident of Dallas, which is it's only been like a couple of months, and honestly, since I've been here, so my daughter, she didn't come down to the beginning of August. She spent the rest of June and July in Maryland. So I still haven't gotten like fully adjusted yet, because like I've been doing so much like back and forth traveling between like here in Maryland and all of that stuff. So, but I think like it's gonna set in, but it just hasn't set in as of yet. But yeah, I mean, sometimes my daughter forgets, sometimes I even forget that we're not even still in Maryland. If you guys want, I'm still unpacking, but if you guys want like an apartment tour, let me know. I can figure something out and do something for you guys. But yeah, so moved to Dallas. The move was a little stressful. As I was saying, the move was stressful because of the relocation company that I use. Like, they were complete and utter trash. Like, I'm gonna insert like some clips of, I'm gonna insert like some clips and stuff of like what my stuff looked like when I got it, and then I'm gonna talk about like the problem. So basically, I relocated because I got another job offer, right? So and everything kind of happened relatively quick. Like once, like when I applied or whatever, it was just like a couple of weeks before I heard back, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, right? Spare you all those details. So anyway, I found a moving company because they wanted me to come down in about 4 weeks or so. The company wanted me to start in about 4 weeks from the day that they told me, which was the start of their next pay period. Well, not the start of the next pay period, but the beginning of one of their pay periods. You know, with that being said, you gotta find a moving company. Now, I should have done more due diligence when researching a moving company, but you know, with the time that I was given, like I had to pretty much hurry up, pack, and all of that stuff, because I had 4 weeks to pack up my apartment, shut my car down, and blah blah blah, right? So found a moving company. They were called All American Van Lines, and I'm not leaving out the name because I don't care. So they were called All American Van Lines, and their website is like allamericanvanlines.net or something like that. Anyway, you can Google All American Van Lines LLC and they'll pop up, right? Okay, so you Google All American Van Lines.net. I mean, you Google All American Van Lines LLC, they'll come up. So, boom. There's that. So I chose them because like the girl that I spoke with on the phone at the time, like she was really nice, really helpful. You know, she gave me a pretty decent quote to move, right? So I'm like, okay, we can do this. You know, it's not a direct transfer, but it's okay. You know, I don't need my stuff till a certain date. So, and they said that they could meet that date. So boom. They actually shipped my car as well. Had no issues with my car being shipped, like none whatsoever. My car actually arrived earlier than it was supposed to. It arrived a couple of days earlier. So I had no problems with the transportation department. It was just with the clothing department. So, well, with the household shipping department, the regular one, whatever. They were supposed to pick my stuff up somewhere like around June 11th or 12th or something like that, right? So, they called, so it was like a Friday or Saturday that they were supposed to originally pick my stuff up on. So they called like that Wednesday, and the driver basically asked if he could pick my things up earlier. So I was like, I mean, I'm not done packing, you know, I still need the next couple of days to get everything done. He was like, no problem, like I'll help you pack your stuff, blah blah blah, whatever, and I won't charge you anything extra, yada yada yada. June 10th comes, right? Because they picked up, yeah, they picked up my car and my clothes the same day, I believe. So they picked my car up the next day. So no, they picked my clothes up the day before they picked up my car. So June 10th comes, they show up, whatever. It's like pouring down, raining outside, but you know, whatever. It's morning or afternoon, don't know, but I'm still like packing and all of that stuff, trying to get everything together. And I had somebody helping me, thank God, so to get stuff done a little bit faster. So they come, they load up all the stuff to the truck, and they tell me, you know, you can, here's your balance, you can pay it on delivery. I'm like, that's a lot more than I anticipated, but okay, whatever, right? So but then in reading their contract that I signed, they were supposed to tell me, you know, of anything additional before they finished loading up the truck, but they did not. So keep that in mind. So then they come get my car the next day, boom, cool, no worries about that, because I had gotten a car from this app called Turo, where they rent privately owned vehicles, which was dope, right? So that part was taken care of, and yada yada. So skipping forward, that Sunday my car arrives in Dallas. Paid him his money, boom, that was done, no problems. Picked up my key that Friday for the apartment, the place where I'm currently living, and you know, no issues with that, boom. So I come home that Friday because my daughter had a dance recital that Saturday and all that stuff. They were supposed to have delivered my stuff June the 21st. So that Monday, so on June the 21st, I sent an email to the company, and I was like, you know, are my things still gonna be delivered today? You know, and if so, like what time, blah, blah, blah. I heard nothing back that whole day, nothing back. Sent another email, and I sent emails and I was calling. So, heard nothing back. I didn't hear anything back till I think it was like that Wednesday or something, when somebody finally decided they wanted to call me back. And the person I was talking to, she was like, well, you know, you were supposed to have paid half of your remaining balance at pickup and then the other half at delivery. So I was like, well, the person who was driving the truck said that I could just pay it all on delivery. So she was like, no, I don't know why they told you that. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's not what your contract says, and da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, well, I know what the contract says, but I'm like, well, if the person that's still, you know, driving and delivering my stuff tells me this, then why would I not go with it? So ended up paying her half of what my original remaining balance was. So it was like $950 that I paid, and allegedly I was only supposed to owe an additional like $950, but we'll get to that as well. So yeah, so ended up paying her that. Then she's like, okay, you know, we'll get your stuff delivered. So I was out of town that same weekend, but I got back early that Monday morning, and the person that was supposed to be delivering my stuff had called me that Sunday and was like, hey, you know, we'll be at your house sometime between like 8 and 9 that Monday morning. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Like I had a meeting at 10, but you know, that was fine. Like I could let them in and they could do what they needed to do because I was still gonna be in my building. So they arrived. They weren't that late. They were like maybe like 30 minutes, maybe like 20 minutes late. So they arrived somewhere around like 9:15, 9:20. My meeting was at 10. So they tell me that my remaining balance was like $4,000 some odd dollars, like basically $4,600. I was like, that's absolutely incorrect. No, it is not. Blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm not paying y'all that much money when I know I don't owe you guys that much money. So then they're calling the logistics person, and so the logistics person finally called me back, and this is where it all goes downhill. His attitude was complete trash. Like it was so bad. He was yelling and like, well, I got my drivers here, I got my drivers waiting out there, I can't wait on you all day, this is what your balance is, and if this is what did he say? He was like, this is what your balance is and this is what you have to pay and blah blah blah, whatever, right? So I'm like, no. And then I was like, and you know, I was reading my contract that, you know, that I signed, and you know, it says that if the driver didn't inform me of any additional space being taken up prior to finishing loading everything, then y'all can't request any additional money at delivery. Y'all can bill me within 30 days or whatever. So he's like, I don't know if that took place, I wasn't there, but if you don't get your stuff, I'm just gonna have to I'm just gonna have it delivered back to Maryland, and you'll just have to figure it out from there. And I was like, what? So then he ended up hanging up on me. But I had a meeting to get to anyway, so I was just like, okay. So I'm just like, okay, like whatever. I really literally did not have time to engage in his foolishness or his antics. So I ended up talking to the girl that I was dealing with, the salesperson that I was dealing with before, and I told her like what happened, and this was like maybe 5 minutes before I had to walk into my meeting that I'm talking to her. And she was like, oh, that's just him, and da-da-da. I said, well, I don't care. Like, he literally yelled and hung up on me. And she was like, well, you know, I don't know, but I was like, well, I'm trying to tell you like what it is and what I was reading to him, and he hung up on me. But I was just like, well, I'll call you back after this meeting because I really have to get to this meeting right now. Like, it's really urgent, it's really important. So So I called her back after the meeting, no answer. Left her a message. So, you know, should have known that she wasn't gonna call me back because she didn't. And I also called him back, the logistics guy, as well, and got no answer. So I'm literally calling them all week long. Excuse this crater on my face too, by the way. So I'm literally calling them like all week long, and I'm texting, I'm calling, and I'm not getting any kind of response. So I go to the police station because I'm like, well, you know, and then I start, and then I initiated a claim with like my renter's insurance, like all that. So because like, you know, I need my things. It's July at this time. And I'm like, yo, like I need my things. So the officer at the police station was, you know, he was really helpful. He told me to send a certified letter of demand demanding my things, and that when I send it, they have 2 weeks to respond. If they don't respond, come back, they'll file an official like report, but it'll be more like an informational report that I would be able to use with my renter's insurance. So I was like, okay, cool. So I did that, I sent that off, and so it's like 4th of July weekend at this time, right? And I was getting ready to actually go back to Maryland for the 4th of July. So yeah, so I sent that off, boom. And honestly, I wasn't expecting to like hear anything back from them, because like they have several different like company names and several different addresses. The address that I was looking up was based in Florida, and that Florida address doesn't exist. So, but I sent the letter of demand to the address that was on my the contract that I signed. So it was like a Jersey address. So I sent it there. But Tuesday after the 4th, and I had just gotten back to Dallas on that Monday, right? Yeah, I believe Monday. So yeah, it was, because I was just leaving work, and I had literally just finished getting some tacos, and I get a phone call, and it's the logistics person. So he's like, you know, can I speak to Shamika? I'm like, yeah, this is Shamika. And he was like, so I have your letter here. Like, what is this about? You know, why did you send this? Like, what's the problem? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I want my stuff, and I'm not getting any answers from anybody. And so this one here tries to flip everything around on me and was like, oh, well, I believe the last time we spoke you were mad and you hung up on me, and I believe you didn't have any money to pay. So I was like, first of all, you're the one who hung up on me when I was in the middle of talking, trying to tell you that my balance was incorrect, and that and read off to you what was in the contract that I signed. But you kept saying it wasn't a contract and that it was only an estimate, but I actually still said it was a contract. So so he was like, you know, well, you know, what's the problem, blah blah blah. So I'm like, well, the issue is that when the drivers, didn't even say that it was completely different drivers that showed up with my stuff, and a completely different truck that showed up with my stuff. So I was like, well, your driver said that my balance was roughly about $4,600 when they showed up, to drop my things off, and I was like, that is, you know, completely inaccurate. And I was, you know, that's what I was trying to explain to you. That's what I was trying to explain to Ashley, which was the girl, the sales girl that I was dealing with. He was like, so then he goes, well, I don't know how they got that balance, because your, you know, your balance wasn't even $4,000. I don't even know how they would have mixed that up and da da da, right? So I was like, well, you co-signed with what they said, and you said that that was my balance, and that's what you saw on your screen, and Ashley said the same thing. And so he was like, oh, I must not have really been in front of my computer, because your balance here that is showing is only $1,900. And I'm like, okay. Like, if my balance was only $1,900, like, I wasn't going to complain about that. Like, but I am going to complain about $4,600. Like, that's a big difference. And so he was like, no, I get it. He was like, I wouldn't have paid that either, so I understand your frustration, but you know, you do still owe this $4,600. And you know, he was like, well, maybe they were looking at the wrong like ledger or whatever when they were dropping your things off, but I can assure you that your balance is only $1,900, and I'm going to send it. I'm going to send you your statement, your balance or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. So so then I was like, because we were on the phone for a minute, and I was like, had you come at me this way the last time we spoke, I was like, we wouldn't even had this issue, and I would have my stuff. Oh, and then during the same conversation, I found out that they that the drivers took my stuff to a storage unit. Didn't know, you know, didn't know any of this, none of this. So I was like, they took it to a storage unit. Y'all didn't tell me, like, where's the storage unit at? And so he's like, oh, well, I have the storage information, but you know, I can't give it to you until you pay your remaining balance. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So so yeah, I end up, so I think a couple of weeks have went by. So because I ended up texting them, and I was like, you know, with them having the wrong, like, you know, information when they were dropping my things off, like, I need to be able to make sure that it's actually my things in the storage unit before, you know, I send y'all this amount of money. Oh, and I had to get another moving company to move my things from the storage unit into my apartment, because they don't have a hub here, so they don't have anybody here that would have been able to basically uphold their end of the bargain, which was delivering my stuff to my apartment. So they expected me to pay $1,900 to them plus a moving company. So I was like, no. Like, that's not happening. So, so yeah. So end up having to do that. It took them about 2 weeks to get back to me about that, and so like I had to keep calling and texting and all that stuff. Wasn't getting a response. And so then like, and the person that was like that helped me move was like reaching out to the original driver that not to help me move, but that helped me pack. Was reaching out to the original driver, you know, we trying to figure this out, like, yo, where's my stuff? So finally, I want to say somewhere around mid-July, I finally get a response, and the girl Ashley was like, you know, I'm sorry I hadn't responded to you. her son had been sick and she had been out all week and she was, you know, trying to catch up on emails, whatever. So I asked her, you know, I was like, well, what can you guys do? Because, like, this is not my fault that, you know, I don't have my things. Like, this is completely y'all's fault, and I'm not paying y'all $1,900 to have to get another moving company as well. And so we finally, that following week, which is now the last week of July, you know, no, it was that Friday, because I was getting ready to go to Houston that Friday. So we came to a decision that Friday, like a good medium on that Friday. And they, you know, he took off money because he finally called me back. And so the logistics guy, that is, finally called me back. And so we came to an agreement that Friday morning, the morning that before I left for Houston. So all of that, and then so I paid. So they took off about $600. And he was like, you know, the storage unit is free and da-da-da. I was like, well, I won't pay for that no way, so I don't really care about that. So I had paid, I paid them when I got back from Houston, because, you know, it was no sense in, you know, doing all of that and then nobody would be here. So paid them when I got back from Houston. I was able to find a local moving company to deliver my stuff the next day, because that following day, so I paid them that Tuesday when I got back, because I was trying to get in touch with them all day, so I didn't get in touch with anybody until later that afternoon, that evening, something like that. So so when I finally got in touch with them is when I sent the money, which, so it was like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock my time, so it was about 5 or 6 o'clock their time, because they're on the East Coast. Oh my gosh, I look so washed out and crazy. So yeah, did that, and he was supposed to immediately get right back to me with the information for the storage unit, because remember, he said that he had the storage unit information. Come to find out, after I paid my money, he didn't have the information. He didn't even have the key to my stuff. They left, like, so I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't have the information? What do you mean you don't have the information to the storage facility? I was like, when I spoke to you, you said that you had it, and all of that stuff. So I was like, so what do you mean you have to contact the other driver? So I ended up contacting the driver myself, and come to find out from him that it was the other person who put the storage unit in their name. So he didn't know the exact location of the storage unit. So he's trying to get in touch with the other driver, and I'm like, what? So this is still Tuesday, and so I'm like, yo, like, you said you had it, da 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 da. Like, I need to get my stuff. Like, I don't have time, and I was leaving to go back to Maryland yet again on Thursday. So I'm like, yo, like, I need my stuff. Like, I need to know where it is, because, like, I don't have time. I was gonna be gone, like, all that next week. So, like, and I wanted my stuff before I left. So I did not hear back from them because I'm sitting here, I'm calling storage facilities that are like close by my house, just trying to figure out like, oh my gosh, I messed this up so bad right here. Just trying to figure out, you know, like, hey, was, you know, stuff from a moving company, was it delivered on, you know, on this day, da, 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 da. It was like, it would have been June the 28th, blah, 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 having to explain the situation to them. So finally, so the other driver that I was in contact with, like, he still hadn't gotten in touch with the other person, and I'm like, bruh, like, what is going on? So, sorry y'all, I'm trying to fix this, trying to blend this some more. But he sent me like a picture of where the key would have been left, and so I could see like a corner of the door on the storage unit. So I'm like, oh, it's orange, boom, we know orange doors, public storage, right? So then I start calling, so then all the storage units are getting ready to close because it's almost like 5:30 at this time on Tuesday. So get back to me the next morning, but I had already located where it was because the driver that I was in communication with told me that it was in Plano, which isn't far from where I live. And so I get in contact with the guy in Plano, and then I'm getting ready to drive to go over to that storage unit, and then the moving company finally got back to me with like the gate code number and all of that stuff. So I was able to get all of that and go over there, open the storage unit, saw it was my stuff. So then I was able to call another moving company to see if they could come out the next day, and thank God they were able to. So mind you, this is Wednesday, I left Thursday. But my flight didn't leave until the evening, so I think my flight left at like 7 or 8 o'clock, so I still had like all day. So Thursday they weren't, I had a meeting, and the moving company actually wasn't supposed to come until like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock, but they ended up coming at 9 a.m., which was perfect because it took them a lot longer than I think we probably all anticipated that it would take. So they came around, they met me at the storage unit somewhere around like 9:45, 10 o'clock actually. Yeah, like 9:45, 10 o'clock. And so I get over there, then they see the stuff, and so then I, you know, was able to just leave them over there. And yeah, I was able to leave them over there. They loaded up the truck. I had given them the address to where they needed to go afterwards anyway, which was only, I only lived maybe like 5 miles from there, if that. So, and no, I don't live in Plano, by the way. But, yeah, so then they came and they finished everything like around 2 o'clock. No, closer to 3. But like I said, it was still much longer than we anticipated. So it ended up being close to like $700 for them to move and set up what could be set up at the time. And it was 2 of them. They were super nice. You know, super efficient, because I think they were called rollers or something like that. Anyway, I'll put the name on the screen. So, but they only do, if I'm not mistaken, local Texas moves. I'm not sure if they do long distance moves. But anyway, so they came, they moved my stuff, and then leaving Sorry, y'all. I just gotta fix my brow. Still had to pack my suitcase to leave later that evening to go to the airport. And since I was gonna be gone for so long, one of my friends actually dropped me off at the airport. I know this is ghetto with this mirror and the screen in the frame, but just bear with me for a second. I'll pause telling myself, boom. I left to, you know, come back home and all of that stuff. So mind you, but while they were like bringing stuff in, like I was unpacking, I didn't really get much unpacked. I just got the kitchen unpacked. Like when I tell you, those boxes were literally just thrown into the storage unit because box of my clothes was, one of my wardrobe boxes was completely open, wardrobe bar all the way at the bottom, so clothes are all the way at the bottom, and then they put a fragile box on top of that, and so of course something in there was broken. A couple of the boxes had like stuff on them, so like they were just like you know when cardboard gets wet, you know, it's not pliable anymore really. So that happened. Like a lot of the boxes were just open. It was just a mess, right? Because even the new movers were like, y'all, I don't know what they did to your stuff. I was like, I don't either. They clearly didn't care. So they moved, yeah, so they moved my stuff in, and was finally able to get my stuff. And so that is why I am like still in the midst of unpacking, because I mean, granted, I probably could be done by now, but so yeah. And oh yeah, and like during the time I had reached out to like somebody that I knew who had did an out-of-state move, and I asked them because they had like an issue, but their issue wasn't like as big as mine, but they had an issue with their move. So I was like, yo, did you use this moving company? Da, 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 da. And they were like, no. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, don't use them like ever. So then I you know, I gave them the long story short about what happened, and they were like, dang, that's crazy. So you know, so when I finally got my stuff, like I told them, you know, like, oh, I finally got my stuff, blah blah blah, whatever. So yeah, that was a mess. But at the end of the day, I got my stuff, me and my daughter's stuff, because thank God my daughter wasn't here like during all that, because she wouldn't have had a bed to sleep on. Like I was literally sleeping on an air mattress until my stuff was delivered. Like, I mean, granted, a lot of the time, like I wasn't home, or like I stayed in a hotel a couple of times, but for the most part, yes, I slept when I was in Dallas. I was sleeping on an air mattress, which is absolutely insane. So when you paid this much money for a moving company, and by the way, I had already paid them $1,500 before they dropped my stuff off, so then ended up having to pay them an additional $1,500. So I paid them $3,000 to bring my stuff to a storage unit. Like, that's crazy. So, like, listen, moral of the story, do extensive research. No matter how quick your move is, like, do your research. Like, really look and try to find, you know, like a quality moving company, because, you know, this one. So when I was home during that week, I have a friend that does like in-state moving or whatever, because he like moved me a few times. Charlie's Moving and Hauling, shameless plug. He had moved me a few times, so I thought that he only did like in-state moves. Come to find out, he was like, Sham, I would have moved you out of state. He was like, because it's you. He was like, no, he was like, I do out of state moves. I prefer out of state moves, but I mean, it's you. So like, obviously I would have did it, because I've known him since high school. Like, we've been cool friends since high school, because I dated his cousin back in high school. But, and then we just like kept in touch like that over the years. But Like, he's like, yeah, he was like, you know, I would have done it for you. I was like, well, shoot, like, had I known that, like, I wouldn't have had any of these problems. And it would have been a direct transfer because he wouldn't have put nobody else's stuff on the truck with mine. So, next time, ask your friends first if they got moving. You know, if your friends have moving companies, ask. Very good. Did you use your mouthwash?
Yes.
Okay.
What's in your lap?
How you gonna sit in my lap? No, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, you know. I know.
Not surprising. Well, I like this.
Thank you.
But this is for Leah. Are you done yet?
Did I just say I'm almost done?
Oh.
I'm just about to put my lashes on. Oh, can you hand me my purse so I can get my lipstick and stuff out of there?
Watch out.
But anyway, so far, like, I am loving Dallas. When I tell you, there is like food everywhere. And like the places that I have visited, the food has been so good. I don't think I've had anything bad, actually. I mean, I haven't like been like to a bunch of different places, but places that I did go to, the food was good. And yeah, but yeah, I'm loving it. Y'all know I'm like, I love warm weather, so the heat does not bother me. Everybody's like, oh, it's so hot, it's so hot. I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's hot, but I'd rather it be hot than it be cold because that's just what I prefer. So, I do not care. The only time that I was like semi-complaining about it being hot was when we were at Six Flags this past weekend. Like, because, hunty, we were in that thing, and that heat, which is why this no longer matches this. Because being in that sun, I am now tan. So I should have used one of my darker foundations, but I didn't think that I had gotten that much darker because see, this definitely matches this. It's just not matching this, but it matches my tan right here. So my untanned self. Yeah, so like if vlogging is something that y'all want to see, you know, comment below, let me know, and I will try to incorporate, you know, some vlogs and stuff in there as I do my best to try to get back into the swing of things and get used to the city and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's it. Like, I'm done for this video. We are good. I done moved I don't know how many times, so if I'm not in the middle, I'm sorry. So sorry. But yeah, so that's it for this video. This look was really simple. This was just like to kind of give y'all an update on what's been going on and where I've been and all of that stuff and why I ain't been posting like I've been posting and why I keep posting old pictures on Instagram. Yep, that would be why. So so yeah, make sure that you like this video, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, subscribe to my channel, blah blah blah, and I'll leave you guys with another video either here, somewhere on the screen. Since I'm leaning more to this side, we're gonna put it right here so y'all can watch another video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.